From translation, NIV New International Version. This 30th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Exodus 36 to 38. Exodus chapter 36, verses 1 to 38. Bezalel and Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the tabernacle, are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought for doing the work on the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring freewill offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left their work and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." Then Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp: "No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they already had was more than enough to do all the work. Then all the skilled workers made the 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven into them by expert hands. All 10 curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains together, and did the same with the other 5. Then they made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and the same along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 loops on one curtain, and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then they made 50 gold clasps, and used them to join the curtains together, so that the tabernacle was a single unit. They made 11 curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, and made 11 loops along the edge of one curtain. They joined 5 of the curtains together into one set, and 6 into another set. They made 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a single unit. They made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. They made the frames for the tabernacle of acacia wood, standing them upright. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide. Each frame had 2 tenons fitted into it. All the frames of the tabernacle were made in this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and made 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, 1 on each end. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames with 40 silver bases, 2 bases under each frame. For the rear of the tabernacle on the west side, they made 6 frames, and 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the rear. They were double from the bottom to the top, and fitted into a single ring at the top. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 bases under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood. 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west side. The center crossbar at the center of the frames extended from one end of the tabernacle to the other. They overlaid the frames with gold, and made the gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it, and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them, and cast 4 silver bases for them. They made the curtain for the entrance to the tent of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. They made 5 posts with hooks for them, and overlaid the tops and bands of the posts with gold, and their 5 bases were bronze. They made the bronze altar with its bronze grating, its poles, and all its utensils. Exodus chapter 37, verses 1 to 29. Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2 cubits and a half long, a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit and a half high. He overlaid it with pure gold, both inside and out, and made a gold molding around it. He cast 4 gold rings for it, and fastened them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then he made poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. He inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. He made the atonement cover of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half long and a cubit and a half wide. Then he made 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. He made 1 cherub on one end, and the second cherub on the other end. At each end, he made the cherubim of one piece with the cover, extending from all sides of the cover. The cherubim had their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim faced each other, looking toward the cover. They made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, a cubit wide, and a cubit and a half high. They overlaid it with pure gold, and made a gold molding around it. They also made around it a rim of a handbreadth and a gold molding on its rim. They cast 4 gold rings for it, and fastened them to the 4 corners, where its 4 legs were. The rings were to hold the poles used in carrying the table. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold to carry the table. They made the articles of pure gold for the table, its plates and dishes and bowls, and its pitchers and sprinkling bowls. They made the lampstand of pure gold. They hammered out its base and shaft, and made its flower-like cups, buds and blossoms of one piece with it. 6 branches extended from the sides of the lampstand, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms were on one branch, 3 on the next branch, and the same for all 6 branches extending from the lampstand. On the lampstand itself, there were 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud was under the first pair of branches extending from the lampstand, a second bud under the second pair, and a third bud under the third pair, 6 branches in all. The buds and the branches were all of one piece with the lampstand, hammered out of pure gold. They made it 7 lamps, as well as its wick trimmers and trays of pure gold. They made it, as well as all its utensils, from 75 pounds of pure gold. They made the altar of incense out of acacia wood. It was square, a cubit long and a cubit wide and 2 cubits high, its horns of one piece with it. They overlaid it with pure gold, its top and all sides and its horns. They made a gold molding around it. They made 2 gold rings below the molding on 2 opposite sides to hold the poles used in carrying it. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. They made the sacred anointing oil and the pure fragrant incense, the work of a perfumer. Exodus chapter 38, verses 1 to 31. They built the altar of burnt offering of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. It was square, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. They made a horn at each of its 4 corners, so that its horns were of one piece with it, and they overlaid it with bronze. They made all its utensils of bronze, its pots, shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and firepans. They made a grating for the altar, a bronze network to be under its ledge, halfway up the altar. They cast 4 bronze rings to hold the poles for the altar. They placed the poles in the rings on opposite sides of the altar. They made the bronze basin, with its bronze stand, from the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. They made the courtyard. For the south side their curtains were of finely twisted linen, 100 cubits long, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, with silver hooks and bands on the posts. For the north side there were also 100 curtains, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The west end was curtains of 50 cubits, with 10 posts and 10 bases. The east end, toward the sunrise, was also 50 cubits. The curtains for one side of the entrance to the courtyard were 15 cubits long, with 3 posts and 3 bases, and for the other side 15 cubits, with 3 posts and 3 bases. All the curtains around the courtyard were of finely twisted linen. The bases for the posts were bronze. The hooks and bands on the posts were silver, and their tops were overlaid with silver, so all the posts of the courtyard were silver. All the curtains of the courtyard were of finely twisted linen. The weight of the bronze base for the altar was 75 pounds, and it was one piece. They made the bronze basin with its bronze stand from the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. They made the courtyard curtains of finely twisted linen, with their 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and the silver hooks and bands on the posts. All the tent pegs of the tabernacle and of the surrounding courtyard were bronze. This is the amount of material used for the tabernacle of the testimony, which was recorded at the command of Moses. The Israelites had brought as a freewill offering to the Lord all the materials needed for the work of the sanctuary, all the materials used in the tabernacle, for the tent of meeting, for the shielding curtain, for the courtyard and for its surrounding curtain, for the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard, for the altar of burnt offering, for the bronze basin with its stand, for the curtains of the courtyard, for the ropes and for the service garments, for the sacred garments used by Aaron the priest, and for his sons when serving as priests. The people of Israel contributed freewill offerings to the Lord for all the work of the tabernacle of the testimony, which included the sacred garments for ministering in the sanctuary, and the additional freewill offerings of gold amounted to 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver obtained from those of the community who were counted amounted to 100 talents, 1775 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. 1 bekah per person, that is, half a shekel, according to the sanctuary shekel, from everyone who had crossed over to those counted, 20 years old or more, a total of 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were used to cast the bases for the sanctuary, and for the curtain, 100 bases from the 100 talents, 1 talent for each base. They used the 1775 shekels to make the hooks for the posts, and to overlay the tops of the posts, and to make their bands. The bronze from the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. They used this to make the bases for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the the bronze altar with its bronze grating and all its utensils, the bases for the surrounding courtyard and those for its entrance, and all the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the surrounding courtyard.